Alright, so when you start an Inventor, you always want to start with an IPT, even if you're going to work in multiple different functions within Inventor. So start with an IPT, make sure you're in inches in English mode, and go ahead and create a new part. And we're going to go ahead and make a top, and you can kind of see the top I previously made in there. We're just going to start from scratch. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to evolve a sketch. We're going to start with a 2D sketch, go to Origin, and I'm a big fan of sketching on the YZ plane whenever we're sketching these parts out for Fusion and Inventor. And if we go ahead and if we start the sketch, I wouldn't make the top. I'd make the top right around 1.25 or 1.375 because the material we have is 1.5 inches, and then I will go 0.75 here. So 1.25 by 0.75 should be pretty good. A good sized rectangle to fit your top into, and click again. And then in this area, we're going to do our sketch. One thing we found is if you start with a simple line, it makes the somewhere like a square line or angled line in the beginning, makes the rest of the project go pretty easy. So start with like a nice line here, and then go over to the spline tool, so you have something that's going to revolve around, and you have a nice point where you can create an axis. So you need to stay within the bounding box here, and you're going around. We can kind of edit this around, but the one of my only complaints in Inventor is this spline tool, and I'm going to go a little bit outside of the box, but not completely, just so I can dimension this last point. And you can always just like kind of make it more curving, but you want to have and you have to hit that green check mark to make it work. Now up here, you can always just move around these points a little bit, but don't do anything too crazy. Just move them around just a little bit, so you can kind of keep the profile, but it has to stay within that line. And then you can come up here to trim, and you should be able to trim up that little bit, so you have a little point you can measure. And this decimal point here, from here to here, has to be bigger than 1.25. So I would say like 0.13 or 0.125 I meant. So if you go 0.13, that's bigger than 0.125, and that should be enough material there so the part doesn't break when you machine it. 0.125 is the very bare minimum that I would recommend machining down. If you go down to 0.1 or anything under 0.1, you're probably going to have a higher failure rate. So you're going to go to revolve. You're going to revolve this around this axis, and now you have something that looks kind of like a top. You're going to select OK, and you are going to go ahead and save your part, and you're going to call it you can hit Control S or hit the save button up here. There's a lot of different options. And you're going to call it spinning top, put your name in there, and you will be ready to begin the next portion of the project. Just remember to try and get like a good sweeping flow down the backside of the part.